investigating a matter. I don't think that is what committees are meant to do. You don't even know who takes the lead, who's the lead committee, or who's not the lead committee. I think we've gotten ourselves involved in legislative and parliamentary diplomacy on several times, South Africa, Ghana, and we were able to make a headway in many of those cases because the membership was tight. It was tight, and members went in, did what they needed to do, and came out with significant results. By the time you have 300, I don't think it would
have a function done, and because there is no institutional memory, you may have a disconnect in the implementation and going ahead. I would suggest that we should not have the entirety of the committees to function in that subcommittee that will do the job. And maybe one member, either the deputy or another member, could be taking cognizance of the diversity. If we have a chairman, for instance, Interior, coming from the Northeast, who is the next chairman, Security, Intelligence, and we look at it like that. So the other committees that we are going to form should also constitute reflecting our federal character, so that we'll have a genuine and good job that will be done.
One or two members from each of those relevant committees. That's exactly what I said. So it becomes, in a way, almost an ad hoc committee. But an ad hoc committee reflecting, just like we did with the Security Summit. So we're saying the same thing. There might be one or two additions that I will make, because I think they might have an input as well. So yes, what we'll do is have I think Chairman allotted some more members just to help the committee as well. Is there anyone that wants to speak against this motion? Please feel free. Leader, what was your timeline? 2 weeks. Is 2 weeks sufficient? I don't think it's enough I think 4 weeks is more like it.
Do 4 weeks. Let them use 2 weeks to give us a preliminary report. Because, after the budget, we'll enter a season. So, in order
especially because we're in a budget season, that's why I think 4 weeks. Yes, and then they can ask for an extension.
As soon as they submit, they are doing their budget defense before appropriation. So once they finish, they move in.
Let's give them 4 weeks so that if they need more time, 4 weeks is more like it. Before you even prepare the ground and whatever, a week has already gone.
Okay, can I now say that the House set up another committee comprising committees on aviation, national orientation, diaspora, treaties, and to be chaired by foreign affairs chairman. Or you decide.
You are not the one choosing the.
No, sorry. Or you decide. Because I know foreign affairs chairman, is.
I mean, it's a monarchy, but I mean, do we have any group that?
We have something, but no.
Okay. Okay, so those in support of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. All colleagues, the motion as passed by the House will include the chairman of already part of the standing committees, relevant standing committees, Honorable Abonta, Honorable Luke Onofiok, Honorable Baba Ojaha, Honorable Mukhtar Ahmed, Honorable Michela, Honorable Nolin Naji, Honorable Wumi, Honorable Ben Kalu, and you've heard your name here. You can please join them for this assignment, and it's for 4 weeks. Honorable members, the business of the day.
No, not yet, sir. My motion.
Yes, we have one more motion on the possibility of the ASU strike. Honorable Professor Julius, please go ahead. You'll have to allow for the House, you'll have to seek permission of the House to take this third motion, because this is the number three motion of budget and public importance.
Okay, 847, under 847, to seek the suspension of relevant sections of the, for me to present this motion, given that we have covered the schedule for today.
Any seconder? Madam Shatima.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, I'm Lawan Shatima Ali, representing Bursari Gaidam University.
Yes, those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Please go ahead.
I have volumes. Okay. Mr. Speaker, I'm Professor Julius Ihonvire, representing Owan Federal Constituency, Edo State. To move this motion on the urgent need for the federal government to do all within its powers to stop the impending ASU strike. The House notes with dismay once again that the Academic Staff Union of Universities in Nigeria is threatening to proceed on another industrial action
Honorable Chidoka.
on a matter that has been on the front burner.
And Honorable Olariwaju, please approach the chair.
Which is the implementation of negotiated and signed agreements with the federal government. Note also that the federal government has not been quite forthcoming, neither has it attached any consistent seriousness to the urgent need to reposition and refocus the education sector in line with our developmental objectives. The issues, including those of unpaid academically, and are aware that the future of Nigerian students once again will be negatively impacted if this impending strike by ASU is not nipped in the bud by the federal government. Recognizing that incessant strikes disrupt the academic calendar and contribute significantly to the poor quality of graduates in the country, with far-reaching world rankings of in December 2020 terms of agreement it signed with the union. Resolves to urge the federal government to urgently take up the already signed agreement.
All right.
You're not a member of ASU.
Any Honorable Ari, you want to second that, please? But the ASU threatened strike, correct? Yes, please. Just quickly brief us for a minute.
Dear colleagues, this is a straightforward issue. ASU is not asking for anything new. They are only asking the federal government to implement an agreement they signed in December 2020. And if you look at the track record of conversations the Ministry of Education is saying we don't handle money. It is Ministry of Finance. But ASU is under the Ministry of to pay for the revitalization of universities across board. Vice Chancellors have come here to defend their budgets and proposals on this revitalization already. They said the money is there to pay earned allowances that is in the central bank. What is holding it between the federal government and the central bank, I do not know. So all I'm asking, dear colleagues, is let us beg the federal government, and we can't continue like this. This is about the 10th strike from ASU. And you can't blame ASU. A worker can only use the implement he has, that's pleading. Live up to the agreement, period. Thank you very much, my dear colleagues.
Constituency, Mr. Speaker, is going on agreement with ASU. These agreements were not signed under duress. And what my professor colleague is simply asking is that the federal government should live up to expectation to obey their own agreement. I do not know how to explain this. If we allow this, affecting everybody, it's affecting everything that concerns us as a nation. And so, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I have to plead with if I am right or I am wrong. Even the Bible says that it is wrong for you to make a vow and not keep to it. It's better that you don't. For the fact that they have agreed and they came with this agreement, those agreements should be simply followed to the letter. So, Mr. Speaker, just to ask a voice that it is very, very important that as Parliament we urge the federal government to go back to drawing board and agree to go to strike again, but do they now renege from the agreement they have signed? And then what option do they want this agreement they entered into?
JJ Joe.
Off for to happen. A few months, we all witnessed what has happened. And education is not something we can play with because it involves our teeming youth, and we know what that can cause. We want to be fully followed into two. Thank you very much.
Is okay. Honorable Osai, and then we put the question.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Osai, Nicholas Osai. I represent local Plenary constituency of Des Express. By Prof, by the Deputy Chief Whip, and by my honorable colleagues. Why I say a covenant is sacrosanct is that a government with its people signing an agreement is a matter of trust. And oftentimes, the federal government have reneged to this money. The government to another signed agreement and was never obeyed. He analyzed the deplorable situation. I go to my lab, use every reagent that was provided by federal government, and yet I was well equipped. Average hour. Mr. President, first line charge. It has reached a standing here in the Green Chamber of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to talk because somebody taught me. And because I used the lab provided by federal government. Why is it today that we are representing our constituency? People represented us at that time. Today, another generation is representing this constituency, and yet we are denying the average hour. Now we should question ourselves. Because the issue that COVID-19 put back our children at home over a generation fund, because you are the leader. This, Mr. President, and tell Mr. President the need to release that fund. We are talking about people going into other vices. For me to leave the campus, even to where I was staying in Lagos. I was staying in the campus, I would read, because there was enough fund, there's library to read, and there's lab to go and make. Are doing better abroad because they are well prepared. These are Nigerian students before, not the current one.
Oh, we're about to put the question. We're about to put the question. Chief Whip. Everybody wants to speak on this.
Yes, as a former lecturer.
As a former lecturer, okay.
Yes. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marte Monguno, Nganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, there is no need for lamentation about the present deplorable state of education, especially in our tertiary institutions, in these hallowed chambers now. Because all the issues that were raised borders on funding, borders on budgetary provisions. And the Constitution, which is the grand norm of the land, is very clear and unambiguous. This hallowed chamber has all the powers on earth to deploy enough funding to the tertiary institutions with a view to remedying the situation. And luckily enough, we are in the process of passing the budget. Why shouldn't we take the bull by the horn, having regard to the problem, and then deploy enough resources, taking advantage of the present budget that is before us, to deploy enough resources to the tertiary institution with the view to remedy the situation, because the budget as it is presented now is not sacrosanct. It's subject to amendment, or it's even subject to setting aside completely by these hollow chambers with a view to coming up with a new house. Why should we be crying when we have all the powers to do it? So I think I've invited these hollow chambers to carefully take a look at the deplorable state of education, particularly tertiary education in Nigeria, and taking advantage of the present budgetary process that we are doing with a view to remedy the situation when we have all the powers on earth to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. I think if I am to understand correctly, I think the issue is not about funding, that the funding is already there. And I think they're passing the buck between Minister of Finance, CBN, Minister of Education, or where the money is. It's a question of release, if I'm correct. Prof, is that correct? One second. According to
The ASU president and the Minister of State Education, the money is there in the central bank. Now release the money, that is where the problem is.
That's where the problem is. The release of the money. The money is already there. Because if the money is not there, I mean, the chief whip is absolutely, if it's there, it's not to actually follow the money and make sure it's released. Honorable Abonta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Uzoma Nkem Abonta, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I share the sentiment being canvassed in this matter, particularly that of the last speaker, the chief whip. Mr. Speaker, at times I wonder aloud if our teachers, lecturers, professors committed any crime. Mr. Speaker, is a popular complaint to us in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, it's a common knowledge that only the private schools thrive. Why? Because of the policy of the government. When Prof raised that motion, I said perhaps he's acting as a brother's keeper, because he's thinking when he leaves here, he will go back to his constituency. And therefore, it's interesting to know the salary of a prof is 450,000 or thereabout. And you think he will give good work, and you think he will teach the people. Mr. Speaker, this is the time for us to rise to the occasion. Mr. Speaker, we must correct injustice. I do not believe, and I maintain, that the money is not there. They cannot be saying who will release. It's not true. They told ASU president that, oh, we have the money, don't go, so I could pay you. Why won't they pay? the Minister of Finance will say, oh, let me get authority because there's no fund. I therefore buy the arguments, the sentiments of the Chief Whip. Mr. Speaker, let us resolve. I also wish to amend. Among what we're going to resolve tonight, that the social amount of money be owed them now and also futuristic payment be provided now, sir. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, we'll be part of destroying our education and then planning for the collapse of Nigeria. And SARS may come again. There are a lot of people to recruit. The improved military will be, very, very useful. And then, so therefore, I agree with Chief Whip that the only thing we can do now as a parliament, the only thing we can do to wash our hands like the pilot, to show clarity, is to provide that money in the budget and say release immediately forthwith as the budget is being implemented. Mr. Speaker, we are budget writing legislators. If they let them call it padding, if they let them call anything, Mr. Speaker, we can add, minus or subtract or delete by law. Therefore, if we cannot provide for teachers now, it will be on record that we are part of government policies that wants to kill Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, it's immorally wrong not to keep an agreement. This non-agreement falls on them. This agreement agreed by them. Therefore, we must, I urge members, that we provide for them. Mr. Speaker, in alternative, I will amend, since we have intervention agencies, we order CBN or even an MPC to pay off the money. Since they are going to other areas now to do a lot of things, I so pray, Mr. Speaker, that we must provide for them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Satobe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. My name is Engineer Satomi Ahmad. I represent the good people of Jere Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Borno State. Mr. Speaker, the matter we are discussing, for me as a young person, I'm almost shedding tears because I could vividly recall those days that strike disturbed me to graduate while I have a serious planning. I was in one of these institutions last week, 25 years after my graduation. Still, the issues that the ASU are advocating is more worsening in the lecture theaters, in the hostels, has made a lot of histories. Mr. Speaker, under your wisdom, you must intervene to see that you serve the future of young Nigerians that are yet to graduate, because you have done it by achieving the Petroleum Industry Act, by achieving the budget cycle. I am sure it will not going to be difficult this time around for this House to intervene to see that we have brought an end, a permanent end, to this crisis of ASU and the federal government. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the current budget, less than 4% is being budgeted for the education sector. If we can manage the COVID crisis, if we can manage the budget cycle, I see no reason why this House will not intervene and to bring an end to this problem that is lingering our young generation's future for the past 4 or 3 decades. Mr. Speaker, ASU strike today and those of that about the past has put Nigerians' name in a bad list that today, if you look at the money spent taking our children and other Nigerians outside this country, is much more than the amount the ASU is asking. Therefore, it will not going to be difficult for this House to make sure that we have worked and bring an end to this lingering problem of ASU. And it is time for us to save the young Nigerians at the respective universities to stop this thing that is happening. Look at the budget of the tertiary institution fund or the TED fund. The projects that are marked for infrastructure. Infrastructure is one of the cheapest things in terms of developing education. Manpower and tools are the critical elements for us to bring an end to the lingering education problem in this country. Mr. Speaker, there was a saying that if you want to destroy a country, destroy the education sector. Today and tomorrow, we have nothing to offer to these young people than for us to ensure that we have worked, particularly the Ninth Assembly, that has made a tremendous record in most lingering problem of a Nigeria, as you treat it as a Nigerian problem. To take this one, please, Mr. Speaker, as your own problem, as a Nigerian problem, to save the young Nigerians in our respective institutions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. We have to move on. Honorable Agusoye, please, 1 minute. We have to move on.
Honorable Prince Rotimi Agusoye, representing Koshofe Federal Constituency of Lagos. Mr. Speaker, from what is said here, that the money is there, I don't think we need to waste much time on this. Why? Government meant well. We all believe in education. Without education, we wouldn't have been here. Mr. Speaker, I think it is important we direct those that are in charge to release the money within the next 2-3 days. Mr. Speaker, I think it is important when you budget for something of this nature, particularly something that has to do with education, and the people in charge are wasting time to do the needful, I think we need to penalize them. That is my contribution, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Professor Julius Nyobere, what was your prayer again? Or what were your prayers?
Mr. Speaker, my original prayer was that the federal government, meaning the president and his agencies that are working in that area, finance, education, should do all necessary to engage ASU immediately in a negotiation and meet up with the terms of the agreement. Because this agreement has already been signed. ASU is not asking for any changes. All they are saying is pay us.
All right. I think you add to. You have an amendment. Yes, go ahead.
Mindful of the fact that this is our budget season, I'm mindful of the fact some of our colleagues are saying that there is fund and there is no fund. Let the Committee on Education, Tertiary and Basic, confirm or investigate the reasons why there is a continuous and several breach of this agreement and report back to the House within 1 week. Then we should be able to intervene.
Any second to the amendment? No, we need a seconder. Honorable Lumelu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Delmelu, and I represent the good people of our Anochoshimi Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion move for an amendment by Honorable Toby. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Before I put the question, Clerk, please add to the. Just add this to it that, and I want the notice to go out today, that the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Education, and the representative of ASU meet in my office on Thursday. Meet me in my office on Thursday at 2 p.m. Finance, ASU, and Minister of Education, so that we fast track this matter. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Members. Okay. Colleagues, I have notice of vacancy in the seat of the Akure North, Akure South Federal Constituency held by late Honorable Omolafe Isaac Adebayo. I wish to notify honorable members of the House of Representatives pursuant to Section 68(1)(b) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 that the seat of Akure North, Akure South Federal Constituency of Ondo State has now become vacant. This vacancy is as a result of the death of Honorable Omolafe Isaac Adebayo on 16th August 2021, which was announced at House Plenary on the 14th of September 2021. The notification is in fulfillment of Section 68(2) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 and for the records. Thank you. Clerk. The first order of the day is a third reading of a bill for an act to provide for the retirement age of teachers in Nigeria and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Tuesday, 9th November 2021. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read a third time. So it's all about teachers today. Good job, well done. First reading? Oh, sorry, Leader. We haven't done the business of the day, which is presentation of 10 bills. And I invite the clerk to read their short title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Administration of Criminal Justice Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Wireless Telegraphy Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. People's Bank of Nigeria Act Repeal Bill 2021, first reading. Federal University of Education Isiokolo Delta State Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Federal Institute of Vocational and Technical Education, ABAC, Akwa Ibom State Bill 2021, first reading. National Commission for Rehabilitation Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2021, first reading. Special Needs Education Bill 2021, first reading. National Youth Service Corps Act Amendment Bill 2021.
The first order of the day is third reading of a bill for an act to provide for retirement age of teachers in Nigeria and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Tuesday, 9th November 2021. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read the third time. Leader.
Distinguished colleagues, I move that the bill for an act to provide for the retirement age of teachers in Nigeria and for related matters, HBS 1340 and 1381, be read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Namdas, please second. Honorable Namdas, where is he? Honorable Namdas, please second. Where is Honorable Namdas?
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Abdrazak Namdas. I represent the good people of Ganye, Jada, Tongoma, and Velo. I'm from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to the second reading, third reading of the bill as moved by our leader. I so move.
Honourable members, the question is that the bill be now read a third time. Those in favour, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it, and I invite the clerk to read the long title of the bill. Honourable Namdas, please approach the chair.
For related matters, third reading.
The bill read a third time and passed. Note, effective House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Tuesday, 9th November 2021, and therefore call on the Leader of the House to read that the bill be read a third time.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, once again, I am Peter Ohiozeje, Patterson, MNI, representing the great people of Akoko Federal Constituency. I am from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Directors in Nigeria to provide professional training to directors and to promote effective governance, public accountability, professional efficiency, and for related matters, HB 1571 be read for the third time. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Okay. Honourable Namdas, please say, okay, you're here, don't worry. Honourable JJ Jimo. Thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Directors in Nigeria to provide professional training to directors and to promote effective governance, public accountability, professional efficiency, and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill passed that I read that time and passed. The third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of the University of Aerospace and Aeronautics, Oka Akoko, and matters of administration and discipline of students and for related matters. Standing in the name of the House Leader, honourable members will recall that the bill was transmitted from the Senate seeking concurrence of the House and read the first time on Tuesday, 6th of July, 2021. And
Mr. Speaker and my dear colleagues, I am Comrade Peter Ohiozeje Patterson, MNI, representing Akoko Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill for an act of student and for related.
Should we just put the question, or is there? The bill is referred to the Committee of the Whole. Okay, Clerk. Long
Establishment of University of Aerospace reading.
for the House on. Yeah, we passed the resolution. No, it's supposed to appear on Thursday, the 18th. Is the FCT committee chairman here? Has the notice been communicated to the FCT minister? Please find out and let me know the status. He's supposed to appear on Thursday, the 18th. The fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Tertiary Education Trust Fund 2011 to expressly provide that the National Youth Service Corps shall benefit from the fund, including federal government licensed private polytechnics as beneficiaries of the fund, ensure that the disbursement from the fund is available to monotechnics and other specialized tertiary institutions of Nigeria, and to include federal institutes and Gideon Gwani, Honorable Pam Soko, Honorable Johnson Oguma, and Honorable Tunji Ojo. Kiruka to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Kiruka Onyejocha. I represent the good people of Isukwatu Munot Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, may I move that a bill for an act to amend the Tertiary Education Trust Fund Act 2011 to expressly provide that the National Youth Service Corps shall benefit from the fund, include licensed private polytechnics as beneficiaries of the fund, ensure that disbursement from the fund is available to monotechnics and other specialized tertiary institutions in Nigeria, and to include federal institutes and colleges of forestry as beneficiaries of the fund, and for related matters, HBs 863, 1115, 1321, 1323, and 1349. Be read second time. I so move.
Thank you, Honorable Nkiruka. Honorable Gwani, can you please? Honorable Gwani, can you second, please?
Yeah, honorable colleagues, I rise to second.
Because the question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor? It's a straightforward one. It's straightforward. Are you speaking against it? Are you speaking against it? Okay. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The bill is, clerk. Clerk. Honorable Nkiru, you have a point of order? What's your point of order? Most of your colleagues said they don't understand the... Is that a point of order? Is that a point of order? Order 001. Read order 001.
00895.
Read it. Read it.
Can I have it from the chair, sir?
You wanted to debate the matter. Yeah. Unfortunately, we hit the gavel. No, honestly, I'm sorry about that. It's just timers. There's so many issues on the other paper. Yeah, but we've already ruled. The bill is referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services. Second reading, yes, go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Tertiary Education Trust Fund Act 2011 to expressly provide that the National Youth Service Corps shall benefit from the fund, include licensed private polytechnics as beneficiaries of the fund, ensure that disbursement from the fund is available to monotechnics and other specialized tertiary institutions in Nigeria, and to include federal institutes and...
Thank you. Honorable Nkiru's excellent bill to amend the Tertiary Education Trust Fund is referred to the Committee of Tertiary Education. The fifth order of health science is Isiala Mbano, Imo State, and for related matters standing in the name of Honorable Miriam Onoya, Princess. You left out Princess on the paper. Princess Miriam Onoha. I know members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 14th October.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Princess Miriam Odinaka Onoha. I represent the good... Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, this morning I rise to move a motion that the bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery, and Health Sciences in Isiala.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Kiruka Onyejocha. I represent the good people of Isukwatu.
You're not a princess?
Yeah, I'm princess.
Okay, so add it to your name.
Okay, I am. But I don't add titles here, sir.
You don't add title?
On the floor.
What's honorable?
No, I don't say honorable. I say Kiruka Onyejocha.
Okay. All right.
If I want to say it, Doctor, Barrister, Adeji Agamba. Chief, them, Mrs.
I was only giving you liberty. Please don't use princess. There's only one princess in this house. And that's Princess Miriam. So go ahead.
My father is a traditional ruler.
Okay. All right. Your second name.
Kirukawaye Georgia, representing the good people of Isukwatu Federal Constituency from Abia State. I write to second that the Princess Bill be read the second time. And of course, I'm representing Princess by extension because I used to be under Isukwatu, Isocho.
Honorable Toby, you want to object to the bill? I think he wants to object. He wants to speak against.
Trying to say that the chief whip's characterization of the bill, she says the princess bill. I don't think there is a princess bill before the House. 2, the qualification for secondment is not that princess was her former constituent. So I think she should probably second.
Well, she did not say princess bill. She said princess's bill. There's a difference between princess bill and princess's bill. So, yes. So it's princess, apostrophe on top, S, bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, please read the princess's bill for the second.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide for establishment of federal
Bill referred to the Committee on Health Institutions. Commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to provide for the legal framework to establish the Federal Medical Center, Ovwen, Delta State, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Francis Wave. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read for the first time on Tuesday, 21st July 2020, and now I invite Honorable Francis Ejirogene Wave to move that the bill be read a second time.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker. Right Reverend Francis Ejirogene Waive is my name, and I represent the entire people of Ughelli, Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu. I am from Delta State. I rise to move for a second reading of the bill to provide for the legal framework to establish Federal Medical Center, Unya, Delta State, and for related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Benson, please second. And tell us exactly what you're seconding. Go ahead. Time is fast spent, hurry up. Why, hurry up, come on. Please, second, number 5 motion, please. Number 5.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Yari, the Agbakin of Egbaland, and the incoming Bamofin of Oyo Kingdom.
Yes, please, your point of order is welcome. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the chairman defense has simply put us on notice that he's been absent and he's just coming from Ghana and he's not properly dressed. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I mean, Honorable Toby raises a very fundamental, in fact, 2 fundamental issues against the chairman defense. I'm not sure if before I rule, I'm not sure if the chairman defense has any response. Who has the point of order? Honorable Rotimi, one point of order after the other. Let's take this one. Go ahead. Honorable Benson.
Very much, Honorable Speaker. My cap fell off, and I had to quickly come to the chambers to discharge.
Please hold on 1 second. I'm trying to confer with the DS on this particular issue. Hold on.
Honorable Speaker.
Yeah.
It fell off from my head in the car, sir. Second of all, Mr. Speaker.
Your cap fell off?
Yes, sir.
As big as your head is?
Yes, sir. I also believe, sir, that being in Parliament representing my people is more important than going back home to get a cap and missing proceedings, sir. Third of all, sir. Yes, Mr. Speaker. And I don't have the privilege of being a chief like you, sir.
You cannot, the custom of where you come from and the rules of the house, which one takes precedence?
Representing my constituents and not leaving my seat vacant, sir, is more important, sir.
Can you move for the House to suspend our rules and allow you address us the way you are? It will now depend on the decision of the House to allow us address you as you are. So move your motion for suspension of rules very quickly.
On the instruction of Mr. Speaker, I move that the House suspends its rules to permit me, because I'm wearing a French suit and not wearing a cap on a French suit, to permit me to be able to present.
Where you come from? Honorable Sejus, please second.
I represent Eastern Northeast, Eastern Southeast. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my dear friend, Honorable Jimmy Benson. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support that Honorable Jimmy Benson address this august house improperly dressed, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The nays have it. So we need another seconder. Honorable Maki.
Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I'm Abubakar Maki Eleman. I represent Madam Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I stand to second the motion heavily moved by my honorable colleagues. The Deputy Chairman Power, I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the questions are those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide the legal framework to establish Federal Medical Center of Delta State and for related matters. Second reading.
Okay, the bill is referred to the seventh order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Agro-Business Management of Nigeria and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Nkole Ndukwe. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 25th July 2019, and I invite Honorable Ndukwe to move that the bill be read a second time.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Uko Ndukwe Nkole, fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. I represent Aruchiku on Afia Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm a PDP member, a party that has just concluded its national convention without any rancor. I'm from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I write this morning.
You just concluded your national convention?
Yes, sir.
Really? When? When?
Mr. Speaker, that was...
People are not...
We know we love our party. I write this afternoon to move for the second reading for a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Agro-Business Management of Nigeria and for related matters, HB 314. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
On everything. Yes, who's going to second the Honorable Osby?
State. I represent the good people of Unkwere, Isu, Wangala, and Jaba Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion for a bill as moved by my younger brother, Honorable Eko. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Nicole, are you younger than Osby?
In our parlance, he is married to my constituent.
Oh, okay.
And my sister, so he must always marry to a younger person.
Okay.
That's the effect of the dowry he paid, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Honorable colleagues, the question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have a clerk. Please read the long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Agro-Business Management of Nigeria and for related matters, second reading.
The Federal College of Education, Elebele Ogbia Bayelsa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instruction, the provost and other officers of the college to carry out the administration and discipline of students of the college and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Fred Obwa. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 8th July, and I invite Honorable Obwa to move that the bill be now read the second time.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Fred Obwa, representing the good people of Ogbia Federal Constituency. I am from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, before me is a bill, an act to establish Federal College of Education Elebele, Ogbia Bayelsa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instructions, and training in technology, applied science, arts, social sciences, humanities, and management, and to provide for the appointment of provosts and other officers of the college to carry out the administration and discipline of students of the college and for related matters to be read the second time. I so read, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Boniface, please second. They weren't listening either, so they can't tell you what you are seconding.
My name is Boniface Meregwari I present the people of Ikwedemo Federal Constituency in River State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, heavily moved by my friend, Fred. I so second.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, long title.
Honorable Speaker, full-time courses, teaching, and to provide for appointment of the second reading.
Referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services. Ninth order of the day is a motion on recommittal of bills standing in the name of Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata. Honorable Fulata is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Elumelu, you have a point of order?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it became very imperative for me to raise this point of order, given the exercise that we just exhausted. And my order is on Order 9, Rule 412.
Page?
Page 52. Order 9, Rule 412. It's just to the effect, because when you ruled on the issue of Jimmy Benson that he was not properly dressed.
Who? Jimmy Benson?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had to look at the meaning of properly dressed. But it appears there's a vacuum and members may be confused. So I want to submit that it appears that Committee on Rules and Business need to do more on that provision to properly define the word, that phrase, proper dressing. It did not capture what it means by proper. He said members to be properly dressed. And he goes to say, that's Order 9 Rule 412, says members shall attend the sitting of the House formally dressed. Now, I have checked the back page. There is no definition of formally dressed. So it appears that there is need for them to work on these rules to give a definition of properly dressed. Why I'm saying that is because I overheard my colleague arguing that there is no provision in the rule that talks about wearing cap. It's a very serious issue, so that people will know what they can put on when they are coming to the
sittings of the House formally dressed, and what was the next sentence?
Not to approach the Speaker when the House is in session.
Okay, I just wanted to
Yes.
Emphasize that.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that our rules are not clear as to whether somebody wearing a French suit, according to WGB, and is not wearing a cap. Because I think the only problem was he wasn't wearing a cap.
No, he's saying that he's claiming that he's properly dressed. Deputy Leader.
No, not properly, formally.
Okay, formally.
There's a difference between properly and formally.
No, you see this session, Order 9 Rule 412. The caption says members to be properly dressed. And he's claiming that by virtue of this Order 9 Rule 412, that he's properly dressed. Okay. And it appears he has been deprived of his right to represent his people. Provision in this rule stating the mode of properly or formally dressed. So what my own is, let the House Committee on Rules and Business give us a definition as an addendum to this rule, so that each time somebody is dressed, and by virtue of the provision provided here, embedded here, we can easily claim or define that the person is not properly dressed. And also it will enhance Mr. Speaker's ability to be able to pinpoint, or even the chief whip, which is his sole responsibility.
I totally agree with you. You are absolutely correct. But the interpretation of the rules is custodian of who? Right?
No, it's Speaker.
The Speaker is the custodian of the rules, and its interpretation is perhaps maybe to your government house for an event. And the invitation card says dress code formal. Even the person that you are arguing for is just busy chatting away over there. He's not even following the. Look at him. He's not even following it. He's not even following.
No, he's following.
No, I can see him.
He said they are following.
So if you are invited to your government house for dinner, for instance, and the dress code, the invitation says dress code, formal, would you go, as you are going, as you are now, would you go now without your cap?
Mr. Speaker, I've had calls.
No, this is a yes or no. Would you go?
I've had calls.
You are not answering my question.
No,
You are explaining.
No, I'm not explaining. I've had calls to go for an event that says formally dressed without the cap.
It says without. Oh, you went without the cap.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's optional, but I'm talking about the floor, so that we can be properly guided.
Chairman, okay, DS is here. Yeah.
I represent Uwasa Federal Constituency. Excellency, I think you have aptly captured what is provided in our own rules. And I think we need not to confuse ourselves with public funds in terms of going again to define. Like you did mention, if we are invited for an event, I could go, for instance, in the formal dress of a gown. We know the Senegalese gown, how they dress, how it looks like. They don't go with a cap. But when they are going with the northern attire this type, and we see you with that cap, you know you are not formally dressed. And you cannot wear a suit to an event, if it's complete suit, without a tie, and you say you are formally dressed. That you know. We do not need another definition. As far as I'm concerned, and which you know, and I know, in this part of the country, I'm sorry to say that what my brother is wearing is more of a casual wear. In the evening, if we are going for outing, of course, that's the kind of dress we are found. Well, maybe small meetings. But when they are coming to Parliament, and I think the Parliament have every reason to say, come in a formal dress. You are representing your country. Other world are watching us. Apart from our countrymen, I do not have any reason to call my brother from Rivers. This is one of the official wear in the same kind of dressing as governor. So I would take it that this is an official wear of it's quite up, and I am intending like a kind of long regalia. I need a cap. And I was arguing with my brother. Definition of now the tradition is where matters. This is Parliament. I said I was in an event somewhere in the south side, and they asked me to remove my cap. I said no, I wouldn't remove my cap, because if my people see me without a cap, it will bring another one. For a king, you don't remove your cap. So I beg for that one. These are the small issues that we have to tolerate one another within the chambers. But in rules of business again, and then the speaker will have to look for money to give them for the committee to function. Then the next time they say, we will not be able to turn in our report because there's no money. The speaker will not give you this money. Thank you very much, sir.
You are crying more than the bereaved, but go ahead. Mike is, you have to just, they've got to call the technician. It's not working, but go ahead and just read.
Be provided here, but omitted by 50. Mr. Speaker, you will see where they wrote definitions. That is all I'm asking. If you check page 250, sir. Wrote to me, please, can you allow Mr. Speaker to preside? If you check page 250, you will see there they wrote definitions. And they have tried to define all issues. And they omitted this particular one. And that is why I'm concerned. Then secondly, sir, Mr. Speaker, our respected Deputy Speaker mentioned that all over the world. If you recall, the Ghanaian speaker came here, he was not wearing cap. With all the big regalia that he put on, he was not on cap. So can we now say that as of that day, he was not properly dressed? So I would just feel that it doesn't take anything out of me. I will never, I may not, and he has also said something, which I think you should rule on. He alluded to the fact that Baba Jimmy Jones Benson is casually dressed. If that is the case, it shouldn't be on the floor.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say.
So
First
it
of
should
all,
be asked to leave
First of all, the rule says shall attend formally dressed.
Yes.
So the fact that we have given Baba Jimmy Benson liberty to be an observer for today, we shouldn't take that liberty formal. It's not defined in when they define everything else. Is that they took legislative notice and expect us to know what formal is. That may be the.
Let them define it so that
Maybe, Honorable Lelumelu, maybe you are worried. Maybe you are worried because I've seen you wear some interesting shoes in the house. And maybe you, Chibok.
Mr. Speaker, Amejaha is coming under privilege. Mr. Speaker, I feel bringing a matter that has been trashed out by the House, there was a motion, respectfully acknowledged and recognized by the mover of the motion to go ahead despite he was not properly dressed, and that particular motion was disapproved. I believe it was a trashed issue. We should forge ahead. So I feel my legislative time is being wasted by bringing it back, something that has been trashed. So this is my order, sir. I need protection.
I think he came under privilege, and privilege can be brought at any time. But Chibok, we're just, this is a very difficult job. We're just exhaling. That's all. We're just exhaling. We're just being a relaxed moment. Yes, Honorable Toby.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Toby Okechukwu, I represent an area of Goji River Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Well, I know that Jaha who represents Chibok is not insinuating that Parliament is wasting his man hours. We are doing what parliaments do, and that is to talk and provide issues. But I don't think we can go into so much detail as to what proper or national dress is. It's commonsensical. But the fact that Honorable Benson is in a dilemma on the type of dress he's wearing. He says it's a French dress, and he also acknowledged that his cap fell off, and he also acknowledged that, and he moved the motion that in the absence of his improper dressing, that we should pardon him, which the House refused, negated, and that was why his motion was, I think, sufficient punishment. He should continue to observe without contributing today. So, Mr. Speaker, you have prudently decided, and we should move forward.
Yeah. So, where were we?
I was supposed to move.
Honorable Elumelu, your point of order is noted. 9? Okay. Yes, okay, yes. Chairman, Business and Rules.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent the Niwa Krika Samaguri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, committal of the following bills. National Transport Commission Bill 2020 HB 1082, Chartered Institute of Forensic and Certified Fraud Examiners of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2021 HB 1220, National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism Bill 2019 HB 45, Pharmacy Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2019 HB 334, School of Mines and Geological Studies Okoko Edo Bill 2019 HB 441, Environmental Practitioners of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2019 HB 353 and Chartered Institute of Public Administration of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2019 HB 329. House notes that above bills were respectively passed by the House of Representatives, concurred by Senate, and transmitted to the President for assent, but the assent was withheld. Aware that some issues that needed to be addressed were observed in the bills, hence the need for this recommittal. Resolved to commit the bills to the Committee of the Whole for reconsideration. I also move, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, please say aye. Those against please say nay. Oh, sorry, we need a seconder, first of all. Honorable Elumelu, Honorable Jimmy Benson, please, you are not supposed to be part of these proceedings. Just take your seat quietly and observe the proceedings. You are.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Dudi Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by the House Committee on Rules and Business, Honorable Folata. I so second.
Lifespan of the budget of the NDDC, pursuant to Order 9, Rule 1, Rule 6 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, standing in the name of Honorable Abubakar Hassan Folata. Honorable Folata is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Borneo Krika Sama Aguri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, precision of lifespan of budget of Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, pursuant to Order 9, Rule 16 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives. House recalls that the budget of Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, was passed on 17th December 2020 with an expiration date set at 31st March 2021. Note that the lifespan of a budget should be 12 months to enable the agency achieve substantial implementation of the capital component of the budget. Thus, the NDDC budget ought to elapse on 31st December 2021. House resolved to send its decision on the lifespan of the budget as passed and commit same to the Committee of Supply for reconsideration. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honorable Baba Jimmy Benson, please second. Oh, okay, sorry, you are not part of us. Sorry. Honorable Kiruka, please. Honorable Mama, please second. Please second.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Ifai Chudi Moma. I speak for the people of Ihiala Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion moved by the Chairman, House Committee on Rules and Business. I so second. Thank you.
Honorable Mama, you are of what party? Huh? Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The 11th order of the day is motion on need to rehabilitate Idumeje Ugboko Road, Anyocha North Local Government Area of Delta State, to a Wohimi Road, Esan South East Local Government Area of Edo State, standing in the name of Honorable Sergius Ogun and 5 others. Honorable members, Honorable Ogun is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm Sergius Ose Ogun. I represent Eastern Northeast, Eastern Southeast, and I'm from Edo State. Need to rehabilitate the road from Idumuje Ugboko Road in Anyocha North Local Government Area of Delta State to a Wohimi Road, Eastern Southeast Local Government Area of Edo State. The House notes that the road from Idumuje Ugboko in Delta State through a Wohimi in Edo State is a major link road to the southeastern parts of the country. The House is worried that the deplorable state of the road adversely affects
the movement of goods and services between the north and the southeastern part of the country and portends negative economic consequences. The House is also worried that due to the deplorable state of the road, armed robbers, kidnappers are taking advantage to carry out their heinous activities, thus endangering commuters plying the route. The House is aware that Section 14, Sub 2B of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, provides that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government, and believes that quality road infrastructure plays a role in ensuring the security and welfare of the people. The House is cognizant of the need for urgent intervention by the federal roaders traveling through the road. The House resolves to mandate the Committee on Appropriations to include the sum of 500 million in the 2022 budget estimate to fund the rehabilitation of the Idumuje Ugbokwe-Wohimi Road. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I so move.
Any second, Honorable Lumelu?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Anocho Shmili constituency and from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Sergius Oguns. I so second.
Okay, yes, an infrastructure motion, so I'll put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. 12th order of the day is a motion on unfair treatment of passengers aboard Virgin Atlantic Airlines, standing in the name of Honorable Rotimi Agusoye. Honorable Agusoye is invited to move the motion.
Dear colleagues, my name is Honorable Prince Rotimi Agusoye, representing Koshope Federal Constituency of Lagos Atlantic Airline. The House notes that Virgin Atlantic is one of the international airline service providers operating in Nigeria with a regular schedule from Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, to Heathrow Airport, London. Aware that on 9th August 2021, the Virgin Atlantic flight BS0412 conveyed passengers from Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, to Heathrow Airport, London, and throughout the flight, no refreshment was served to passengers, including children, leaving them famished and weak by the time they arrived at their destination. The House is concerned that although the lack of refreshment was partly due to industrial action in Lagos, the management of the airline neither offered any explanations nor expressed empathy or any form of compensation for the gross inconveniences to the passengers. Cognizant of the need to ensure that all flight services operating locally and internationally from Nigeria airports observe international best practices for optimum passenger satisfaction. The House resolves to 1. Urge the Federal Ministry of Aviation, as well as the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, to ensure that all local and international flight services operating in Nigeria airports comply with international best practices. 2. Also urge the Federal Ministry of Aviation, as well as the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, to interface with Virgin Atlantic to offer compensation to the passengers that were denied refreshment. 3. Mandate the Committee on Aviation to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Okay, Honorable Joey.
The motion is ably moved by Honorable Rotimi.
Motion moved by Honorable Rotimi Agusoye, seconded by Honorable Jobe Abdul Kadir. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, there's still quite a bit to go through here. including consideration of report to the Committee of Supply, which is waiting. So if you permit, I will take the lead. DS, can you please? Which question? What's the question? It was a rhetorical question, statement. You want me to put the question? You know me, I'll put the question.
Need to safeguard critical national assets through budgetary provisions for insurance premium by ministries, departments, and agencies. Standing now, Honorable Usman Jeha. Honorable Jeha is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. A motion on Mr. Speaker, honorable members, note that critical national assets and infrastructure are assets, systems, and items of value that support efficient public service delivery, economic, political, and social sector of the nation. Also note that adequate budget various infrastructure will reduce available government expenditure, engender value for money, and support quick asset recovery, public service efficiency, employment generation, and well-being of the Nigerian people. Further note that the administration, allocation, and utilization of the World Bank Special Intervention Fund on insurance of federal government critical national assets in Nigeria have been shredded in secrecy, lack of transparency, misapplication, and allegation of misappropriation, as well as not being captured in the Appropriation Act. Aware that the core mandates of the National Insurance Commission under the National Insurance Commission Act 2004 is to ensure adequate protection of insurance businesses. Also aware that Article 615 and 613 of the 2021 Guidelines for Insurance of Government Assets and Liabilities for Ministries, Departments, and Agencies mandates all and conduct proper actuarial valuation of government assets and liabilities for such provision to the National Assembly for appropriation. Concern that some government-owned enterprises are alleged to have been allocating huge sums of monies to their presumed insurance cover without proper evaluation of their insurable asset. Hence, they not submit their budget proposal to the National Assembly appropriation process like other MDS. Also worried that the misapplication and allegation of misappropriation of the World Bank Special Intervention Fund on insurance of federal government assets violates the operational ethics of Public Service Financial Regulation, the Insurance Act, the Money Laundering Prohibition Act, the Code of Conduct Act, and international best practice. Disturbed that the threat to Nigerians' critical national assets and infrastructure have continued to escalate due to the situation of insecurity in the country, natural disaster, and other unforeseen circumstances. Cognizant of the need to take necessary measures to address the irregularities ravaging the insurance of government assets, to cushion the burden that government will have to bear in the event of unforeseen occurrences, fire outbreaks, accident, building collapse, to mention but a few, thus saving the government avoidable expenditure, which can be channeled towards augmenting other priority needs like insurance premium, help to ensure the cost-efficient finance is available for speedy asset recovery in the event of losses and quick restoration of public service delivery mechanisms to the citizens of Nigeria. Resolved, urge the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and Economic Planning, the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, and all the MDAs to ensure proper actuarial valuation and adequate provision for insurance premium in 2022 budget and subsequent national budgets. 2, mandate the Committee on Insurance and Actuarial Matters to investigate the irregularity misapplication and alleged misappropriation of funds of World Bank Special Intervention Fund for insurance of government assets and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so move.
Seconder to the motion. Yes, sir.
Dear colleagues, Engineer Solomon Marel is my name, FNSC, and I represent the people of Mango Bokos. I'm from Plateau State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to second the motion heavily moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
I think I will put the question straight. Thank you. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Respectful colleagues, the 14th order of the day is a motion on urgent need to curb insistent kidnapping in Lagos and other states across the country, standing now Honorable Muftau Adewale. Honorable Adewale is invited to move the motion.
Seems Honorable Adewale is not on the floor. I move that the motion be stepped down by the leave of the House. I so move.
The motion stepped down by the leave of the House. The 15th order of the day is a motion on the state of disrepair of Zangwan Chawe Mariri Highway in Kaduna State, standing now Honorable Mukhtar Zakari Chawai. Honorable Chawai is invited to move the motion. Not on the floor.
Okay. Thank you, Kaduna State. I rise to move a motion on the deplorable state of Zangwan Kataf, Chawai, Marira Highway in Kaduna State. The House notes that the Zangwan Kataf, Chawai, Marira Highway in Kaduna State is about 53 kilometers long and connects the 3 federal constituencies of Kauru, Jaba Zangwan Kataf, and Lere. Concerned that the road is in deplorable condition and large part of the road have collapsed, mostly due to neglect, thus making it unmotorable. Also concerned that due to the devastating state of the road, farmers have been cut off from their farmlands, children from their schools, families from their communities, and link roads to markets have been severed, hence negatively affecting and its attendant consequences, shortages, and delays in the agricultural value chain. Worried that farming communities affected by dilapidated roads are in precarious position as their sources of livelihood are threatened as a result. The House resolves to urge the Federal Ministry of Works and the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FERMA, to rehabilitate and, where necessary, reconstruct all failed portions of the Zangwan Kataf, Chawai, Marira Highway in Kaduna State. Second, mandate the committees on works and FERMA to ensure compliance. I so move.
Yes, sir. Press the request first. Yeah, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Musa Umar Galo, member representing Gorzako Federal Government.
Infrastructure related motion, so I now put the question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Construct Ibadan. Oshokbo Indo, Honorable Lododo is invited with the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Olododo Cook Abdugani Saka, representing the people of Ilorin East, Ilorin South Federal Constituency, to raise a motion for construction of Ibadan, Osogbo Ilorin segment of the Lagos-Kano standard gauge railway line. Note that the Lagos-Kano standard gauge railway line, SGR, which is about 2,700 kilometers, was conceived by the federal government in year 2006, which is 2006, to over transport connections from Lagos to Kano, near the border with Niger. Also know that Lagos ECC and segmented into Lagos Ibadan, Ibadan Osogbo Ilorin, Osogbo Ado-Ekiti, Ilorin Mina, Mina Abuja, Abuja Kaduna, and Kaduna Kano segment for ease execution. Aware that the Abuja Kaduna government leaving the event of the project uncompleted, concerned that in July 2021, the Kaduna Kano angle of the Lagos Kano standard gauge railway line project kick off while works on the Ibadan Osogbo Ilorin segment of the project have been put on hold by the federal government, thus denying the people of Ilorin and other surrounding towns the benefit as well with the construction of the rail line from Ibadan to Ilorin. Cognizant that if construction of the Osogbo Ilorin segment of Lagos Kano standard gauge railway line project is achieved, Mr. Speaker, the purpose for which the project was conceived will be greatly beneficial to the people and the economy of the country at large. Resolved to all the Federal Ministry of Transportation to commence construction of the Ibadan Osogbo Ilorin segment of the Lagos Kano standard gauge railway line, SGR, without further delay. 2, mandate the Committee on Land Transport to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues.
Seconder. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Abdul Ghani Johnson. I represent the good people of Oshodi Solo Federal Constituency 2. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague, my namesake, Abdul Ghani.
It's an infrastructure motion, so no contribution. Okay. You want to include segments, sir?
Mr. Speaker, this motion on standard gauge to be commenced from Ibadan to Osogbo and the Lawrence segments is very important. I also want to amend, mindful of the absence of anything regarding Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. I want to amend that the federal government and the Committee on Land Transport and the Ministry of Transportation should immediately commence the construction and rehabilitation of Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, covering the eastern flank of this country, knowing that the Western Corridor Rail and Eastern Corridor Rail commenced the same day in about 1913. But nothing is being said about that one. It should also be mandated to commence the construction. I so amend.
Any seconder? But for your information, I want to give you reliably the next segment of what they're going to consider. That particular flank is going to is included. But because it's a harmless amendment, we will still take it. Thank you. No, there is one example. Yes, sir. Solo, you want to change state? No, I'm not recognizing you. I'm recognizing my brother from Rivers.
Ms. Julius second the motion, ably moved by the amendment, ably moved by my leader and my colleague. I so second.
Those in favor of the amendment say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor of the motions amended say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Respected colleagues, the 17th order of the day is consideration 2018-2020 external borrowing plan number 2, and an addendum to the request for the current approval of multilateral fund projects under the 2018-2020 federal government.
Honorable colleagues, my name is Ahmed Deyebu Safana, representing Safana Batarita Musa Federal Constituency from Katsina State. I move that the House do consider the report of Committee on AIDS, Loan and Debt Management on request for concurrent approval of donor fund projects under the federal government proposed 28 to 2020 external borrowing rolling plan number 2 and addendum to the 2021 federal government external borrowing rolling plan. I so move, sir.
As ably moved by Honorable Safana. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Again, take the constitutional report of Committee of Supply. At the same time, Committee of the Whole. We will proceed now to bring the other bills for consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Samflata. I represent the new Krika Samagui Federal Constituency. I'm from Jigawa State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that we do suspend our relevant rules to enable move. I also move that the House do dissolve into Committee of the Whole and supply at the same time to consider reports. I so move.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Ben Roland Igbakwa. I represent Etiop East, Etiop West, and by the special grace of God from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as ably moved by the chairman rules of business. I beg to second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Respected colleagues, the 18th order of the day is in consideration of a report on the Committee on Telecommunications on a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Postal Service Act Cap N127 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and establish the Nigerian Postal Commission to make comprehensive provision for the development and regulations of postal service and related matters. All members who recall the report was led on Tuesday, 15 July 2021. Obrakim Ademi would move for its consideration.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Honorable Akim Adeni Adeyemi. I represent the good people of Afijo, Atiba, Oyo East, Oyo West, and from Oyo State. Mr. Speaker, I move Postal Service Act, Cap N127, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, matters, and approve the recommendation therein. I so move.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Musa Umar Garu, member representing Gozakawa Federal Constituency. I am from Kano State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my honorable colleagues. I so second.
Why haven't this? Are we having this? Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. So why haven't this bill? Because I know that. Or is the monthly leader has this one? Monthly leader, I'm asking when do we have this one? When did we have this? I don't know when it came to the order of something. on Justice on the bill to establish the South-South Development Commission charged with the responsibility to receive and manage funds for the Federation account allocation and other sources, donations, grants, and aid from integration, development, resolution of infrastructure deficit, military communal crisis, as well as tackle local environment problems. And following my honorable members recall that the report was there on Thursday, 25th March 2021. Honorable Ozubo Gonna will move for his consideration.
My name is Honorable Gono Ziribu. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Imo State. I represent the good people of Funkwere, Isu, Wangele, and Njaba Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I move that they are charged with responsibility to receive and manage funds from the Federation account allocation and other sources, donation, grant and aids for the integration, development, resolution of infrastructural deficit, militancy, communal crisis, as well as tackle ecological and environmental problems, and for related matters, and also approve the recommendation therein. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Seconder. Igwe.
Hello. Right Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues, I am Chinyere Igwe, PhD. I represent Port Harcourt, 2 Federal Constituency of Rivers State. I second the motion as ably moved by the Chairman of the Justice Committee.
Thank you very much. Welcome to APC. Thank you. Thank you. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Leader. No. Committee of the whole to consider reports. Want to give you more accommodation. See, is already one of your strong mind is already eyeing us. Welcome.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, once again I am Comrade Peter Uhyozuji Akpatasen, MNI, member APC, representing Akoko Edo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I move that the House resolves to Committee of Supply and Committee of the Whole at the same time to consider.
Colleagues, I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Benue and Krika Samaguri for the constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to second the motion, ably moved by the leader of the House, that we do resolve into Committee of Supply.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Against say nay. Let's have it. Resolve the Committee of the Supply and the Whole to consider reports. Respected colleagues, the report to be considered is that of a Committee on AIDS, Loans and Debt Management on request for a current approval of donor fund projects under the federal government proposed 2018 to 2020 external borrowing rolling plan number 2, and an addendum to the request for the concurrent approval of multilateral fund project under the 2018 to 2021 federal government external borrowing rolling plan. I now invite Honorable Ayubu Safana to give the synopsis of the report. Safana, I believe it's very straightforward presentation, aptly done, except you want to. The synopsis. That's no synopsis. Everybody understand. We're on the same page. We're on the same page. There are no issues, my brother. Thank you very well. Thank you very much. Thank you. Safana, take your seat. Safana, take your seat. Give me this. Give it. No. I need the water paper. I think the House government. Recommendation 1. World Bank, 3,325,300,000 US dollars. Approved. China Exim Bank, 5,078,441,252 billions in dollars. Carried. Commercial Bank of China, 3,992,267,260 Carried. China Development Bank, 2,893,693,930 Carried. Agency. So the African Development Bank, $698,500,000 carried. French Development Agency, 345 million euros carried. European Investment Bank, 175 million euro. European ECA, 190,255,275 carried. Market, 500 million carried. Yes, sir.
Our colleague wants to have his voice heard.
No, there is no provision for say I have to make my presence. It is either you want to make amendment, or that's the rule.
He wants to make amendment.
We're on Committee of Supply. No, I didn't say until the eye catches. Unfortunately, my eye didn't catch you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Grand total.
Mr. Chairman.
16, yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
In Parliament.
No, I'm not using my discretion. I am for your service.
But I have not seen in our rules where you are getting a member to talk is dependent on your eyes.
No, it is there in the rules. It's there in the rules.
Well, okay.
Check your rules.
Can you?
Check your rules.
Can you give me a reference, Mr. Chairman?
No, you look for the reference.
No, I cannot.
You are the one calling me. So go to
I want some tutorial on it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I believe Toby is a very experienced legislator, leader for that matter, who has been canvassing for the support for this particular project. Thank you very much. Grand total, 16,230,077,718 carried. 20 million euros carried. Respected colleagues, You have $789,300,000 carried. €145,000 carried. And then you go to the digital economy, you have $100 million. Industrial sector, Bank of Industry project. Educational sector, $700 million carried. Transportation sector, financial and national planning sector, $1,788,500 carried. Sector, $1,175,000 carried. Women affairs, $100 million carried dollars. Environmental and Climate Change Ministry, $400,000, $200 million carried, and €75 million carried. Government institutions, National Assembly, $62,120,000 carried. Yes, sir. 62,120,000 carried. 62,120,125 million carried. To approve a request relating to the Bank of Industry for the issuance of 500 million euros carried. That is competition 2 and 3 carried. Thank you very much, leader. Huh? We suspended the rule to allow us carry the two.
Mr. Chairman, we suspended our rule.
As usual. That as usual. It's a very... Okay, clause 1. Sorry, the next report to be considered is that Committee of Telecommunications on a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Postal Service Act, Cap N 127 Law Federation of Nigeria 2004, and establish the Nigerian Postal Communication. Any synopsis?
Yeah, Mr. Okay. Yeah, as you just, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Elumelu. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Postal Service is just to create the Nigerian Postal Commission, so that the Nigerian Postal Commission function will be the regulator, where we allow the Nigerian Postal Service to be an operator. As for me, as this thing is, that is just the simple explanation. We want to position the Nigerian Postal Service apart with the best practices in the world, so that we have the commission to regulate all postal activities, and we allow NIPOS to be an operator, where Nigeria will have a Nigerian Postal Commission as a regulator. That's what the bill is about.
Take the second leg again.
Mr. Speaker, the last law passed by the National Assembly that guide postal service in Nigeria was 2004. There's no saying that it's obsolete. Now, this bill is just to create the Nigerian Postal Commission in one hand to be a regulator, and at the same time allow the Nigerian Postal Service now be an operator, so that the function will not be mixed together.
Who will be the regulator? Who will be the operator?
Nigerian Postal Commission will be established. Nigerian Postal Commission will be established to be the regulator. Nigerian Postal Service continue as an operator at par with the best practices in the world. They will now be unbundled to function, so many function as also like private sector, courier services, etc., etc. So the bill is just to create a Nigerian Postal Commission that will be a regulator, where Nigerian Postal Service will be at par with the best practices of the world.
I will beg that. I will beg for. I want to, because I know there are a lot of issues that have come up from the public. Excuse me, sir, on this particular bill. And I do know there are a lot of issues surrounding collections of stamp duty and whatever, which is supposed to be addressed. I will beg the House to allow us step it for Thursday to do the consideration, so that we will have gone through and appreciate every clause provided for, because I know there are issues on this, so that will beg for that.
Mr. Speaker, the issue about collection of stamp has been addressed by the Federal Executive Council as regards FRS and the NIPOS. This bill is talking about...
With due respect, sir, that's why I say, excuse me, sir, with due respect, Federal Executive Council statements cannot be a law. It is the law that is supposed to address the controversial issues.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So I want to beg that we step it down. For Thursday, we'll come back Thursday. This particular bill step down by the board for consideration on Thursday. Please, members, have the time to read, because like I did mention, there are a lot of issues. Thank you. The next report to be considered is for the Committee on Justice on Brief and Act to establish the South-South Development Commission charged with the responsibility to receive and manage funds from the Federation account allocation and other sources, donations, grants, and for the integration, development, resolution of infrastructure deficit, militancy, communal crisis, as well as tackle ecological, environmental, and other related matters. I think this is a very straightforward bill. We have had virtually for everything. Thank you. All of them carried. So say all of them carried. Close one. Six. No, sir. 13. Move that the House.
The concurrent committees of the House and that of Supply revert to plenary to report progress. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Yes, sir. Minority Leader. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I remain Honorable Ndodi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Aniocho Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State and also from South-South. I second the motion moved by the Deputy Leader and Acting Leader. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. The House progress. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Aid, Loans and Debts Management on request for concurrent approval of donor funds projects under the federal government proposed 2018-2020 External Borrowing Rolling Plan number 2 and federal government External Borrowing Rolling Plan and approved recommendations 1, 2, 3 of the report. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report on the Committee on Telecommunications on a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Postal Service Act (CAP) and N127 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and establish the Nigerian Postal Commission to make comprehensive provisions of the development and regulations of postal service and federal matters, deferred for further consideration of the report. The Special Commission charged with responsibility to receive and manage funds from the Federation account allocation and other sources, donations, grants, and aids for integration, development, resolution of infrastructural deficit, military, communal crisis, and militancy, communal crisis, as well as tackle ecological and environmental. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House adopt the reports of the Committee of the Whole and the Committee of Supplies. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable colleagues, my name is Babangida Ibrahim. I'm representing Malam Fashi, Kampur Federal Constituency. I'm from Katsina State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move to second that the House will adopt the report of the Committee on Supply and Committee of the Whole. I so move.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. They are it. Leader. Move for the agenda of House to tomorrow 11 a.m. Sorry. Move for the approval of votes and proceedings of today. Suspend our rules first to approve the votes and proceedings of today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Berniwa Krika Samaguri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that we do suspend our rules to enable us to consider and approve the votes and proceedings of today's sittings. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, once again, I move that the votes and proceedings of the day should be adopted. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. They are it. Yes, sir. You now move for the adjournment of the House tomorrow.
And my dear colleagues, I am Comrade Peter Uhionzije Akpatasin, MNI, representative of Akoko Edo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House do adjourn to 11 o'clock tomorrow, Wednesday. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
New Brand APC.
My own indefatigable speaker in these hallowed chambers, I so second the motion as ably moved by the leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, clarified to move
on transiting.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think it is in your place to encourage transit in this case. I don't think that you should be.
I'm not encouraging him, but it's his own wish and desire that he's expressing. We are only helping to actualize his dreams.
Mr. Honorable, are you on transit?
Against say nay. That's habit. Gudaji help him very well to nurture him so that he will be a good member of APC. House is about adjourned to tomorrow 11 a.m.